It's good to be with you here on this last work day. I trust you've had a good week. We're certainly rejoicing here at the church as we've had several hundred people here for our annual major music camp, and it's been wonderful to see the Lord work, and we've had many here that are open to the gospel, and we're excited about the potential of long-term ministry with them. There are just so many ways that people can be reached today, and we need to be encouraged in that. And as we think about encouragement, one thing we have to come back to over and over is that the thing that discourages a Christian more than anything else is frankly not circumstances. It's not the political situation or potential economic problems or just the injustices out there that frustrate you as you see the world turned on its head. What really discourages Christians the most is when they're not right with God. When we have a bad conscience, unconfessed sin, I don't care whether the news is good or bad. There is an aching in the soul of a believer that has any kind of a heart for God. And you certainly see that in Psalm 51, that great confession psalm of David after his sin. And he talks about how he acknowledges his sin and he's praying for God's full cleansing, and he knows that he will be clean if he repents. And then he says in verse 8, "Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice." Oh, the clean heart. There's nothing like it. You know, you can have terrible circumstances, but be right with God and be free and have joy. And you can have wonderful circumstances, but have a heavy heart because of unconfessed sin and not be free. And so as we think of a word of encouragement, I suppose probably for the believer, one of the greatest words of encouragement I can give you is open your heart to God. Confess your sin. Trust Him with your life. Don't be afraid of the consequences. God is always good. He will thoroughly and fully cleanse you, and you can have a clean heart. And you'll not give up anything. Oh, it may seem like giving Him your heart and going into His will is going to be a sacrifice, but you'll quickly learn that being right with God is far greater than whatever it is that you are holding on to. So it could be today you're discouraged, and it's simply because you're discouraged within. You're cut off from God. You have a bad conscience. You have an ache in your soul that you know that something needs to be dealt with. Friend, why don't you even, in the next couple of minutes, before we get away from this time together very long, would you not just turn to the Lord and say, "Lord, forgive me. I want to be right with you. I surrender my life to you." And my friends, the fruit of the Spirit, joy, will come. The peace of God that passeth all understanding. The love of God will be made manifest in your heart. And you'll be so thankful to have a clean heart.